had COVID, obviously you were isolating.
Yeah.
I think. Did you have COVID?
Huh?
Oh my bad. Okay. So, I'm assuming everyone has COVID. All right. Well, all right. When I had COVID.
Master, I don't think you quite realize what you've got here. So why don't you just ruminate whilst I illuminate the possibilities? Well, Alibaba had them 40 thieves.
Okay. Welcome back to the Curious Canvas. We are your hosts, Jem and PK. We are back in 2022 for our first episode now. It's been a minute too since the last one. Yeah. We'll be doing a slight review on Matrix and then what's kind of going on with our lives and just kind of, branching out after that.
Yeah.
It's,
in our own simulation.
I like that. Simulations. Mm-hmm. So, Matrix Revolution.
How you been?
Oh shit. Okay. No,
that we've been talking for the past 2 hours about life.
Yeah, true. I've been good, man. Just hiking, especially out of lockdown properly now.
Yeah. Especially during that Christmas time where everyone caught COVID.
Oh yeah. I think everyone we knew caught COVID. I caught COVID. It was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Cold sweats, headaches, coughing, sore throats. Yeah. You're probably used to the sore throats though. So
Come on, bro.
I mean,
you think that you change after the new year, right?
You gotta keep.
You too.
I don't know. I'm just saying, because your immune system. That's all. It might be weaker than the other people. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out PK got me a Christmas gift. Cool.
Thank you for your presence at my place though.
Yeah.
You got me a rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. What else been happening?
Since out of it, I'm just trying to hike more, and I'm trying to
get out,
drone more, and kind of actually not even just that, even just seeing friends and go out. Like it's becoming. It felt kind of weird for a second to go out. You know, when we first got a lockdown, and it's like, let's just take a minute before we all go out. And then
that too.
I mean, like everyone else, I felt on social media, everyone was going like completely berserk going out, and like that's not a bad thing. But then we're kind of back where we are now. Yeah. Like as in with the restrictions.
Kind of let it rip. It was weird as well. I don't know if it was the same for you, but just right after the end of lockdown, there was like a period of readjustment of doing the stuff that you used to do, go to the gym and go play basketball, and it was a lot already. So there were things that I had in mind that I wanted to get on top of, like say in regards to picking up skills or a career that I had to put on hold because it was like October, November, and it just went so quick because we were out. We were just trying to readjust to seeing all these people again, and people want to catch up because we were open again. And then came Christmas already, and then it just went like that. When did we in January, end of January now.
When did we come out of lockdown? October?
Pretty sure end of October.
I felt like October, and I know that's what you were saying. October to December flew. Yeah. Because it wasn't just like, I mean, even just us trying to catch up. It's like, are you free this day? It's like, I got other stuff going right now because everyone's just trying to play catch up, including your friends, my friends, families and stuff like that.
Family, a lot.
I think it was mainly the family part too, where everyone's just trying to I can finally leave 5Ks out of my.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
And I think I love that the most. Just leaving 5Ks. It's not even like. Oh.
That was terrible.
When you had COVID, obviously you were isolating. I think. Did you have COVID?
Huh?
Oh my bad. Okay. So, I'm assuming everyone has COVID. All right. When I had COVID and I was isolating, I hated that because when you're on lockdown, at least you can go out for a walk or a run, somewhat like in the area. Yeah. But when you're isolating, it's like
you just stay inside.
Even when calling like Uber Eats and stuff. Usually, like I meet and greet them. Not that I'm saying like they love the interaction. Like thank you, but just waiting for them to drop it at my doorstep and just grab it.
Where do they drop it off at yours? Right at the front of the street, or
right at the front of the street?
Inside the dungeon?
No, not inside of the dungeon. But I feel like they'd be a little bit freaked out with the dungeon. Like, is this a house? Or apartment?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's the same for you, but this year's got all these weddings, all the catch-ups from the past 2 years, so it's quite full on already. The next few months are going to be quite full on. I don't know if it's the same for you.
Not yet so much with the weddings. I kind of think in the back of a lot of people's minds, like, we should drop a wedding soon because if, who knows when we're going back on lockdown, if that will happen. I don't think it will. Do you think that will happen?
No, I think the guy, our premier's like doubled down on it. Like he's doubled it. Yeah, he's just like, no, we're gonna
ride this through?
Yeah, we're gonna work it out.
That's good. WA is not like that though, is it?
No, that guy's a clown. He's a clown. The whole world's is already trying to move on, and he's like, I don't know. Anyways, that's another. I got no curiosities about that dude. Yeah,
okay. We'll swipe left on him. So, what are you curious about? What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, 2022's up. We've got heaps to do. I don't know. You rewatched Matrix. And that was like a good movie to set the year off because it's already been like 20 years since 21 years since.
Well, the first movie was 1999.
23 years.
Yeah. First movie was 1999.
Yeah.
That obviously that movie was a classic, blockbuster, amazing, set trends. The first one, Matrix 1. Yeah. And then number 2 and 3.
No,
I'm not gonna say it's horrible. No. I actually pretty much I love number 2 because
there was parts of the fourth one that we just watched that was like, that reminded of 2 and 3.
Yeah,
it didn't have not substance, but it wasn't dynamic.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But Matrix Revolutions, obviously, we're back with Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, who plays Trinity, and. You know what? I'm loving this. And Jada Pinkett Smith, and actually somewhat of a good light.
Yeah.
You know what? No, actually no. I feel like everything she touches is like it's doing my head in. She touched Will Smith. Look what's happening with Will right now. You read his book too.
She's a black Kardashian.
No, legit. It's I feel. Oh, it's.
Yes. I did read the book. This year.
Before we get into the movie, how'd you like the book?
Have you read it?
No. I'll read.
I told you to get into it. It's good. He talks a lot about fear and just all the things that he went through in his life and overcoming fear. It was a great read outside of other. It was kind of a self-help book in a way, but it was written by that guy that writes Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Mark Manson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the writing was very in that self-help, but then it's the Fresh Prince. So it's like all about hip hop and history. Yeah, he's actually a big part of history. He's a big part of hip hop and a big part of entertainment.
And like
you don't realize until you read the book when he goes over. He's not like he's not showcasing what he's done, but when the facts are facts, the things that he's done. Nobody has done records like he has. He's one of the top selling, even during the time of Tom Cruise. He's one of the biggest selling of all time with his blockbusters.
Yeah, he was in the group of the 20 million.
And he's black.
Yeah,
so he's gone. He's taken.
He's defined. What a movie star can look like.
He's gone. Over the top.
All right, like I haven't read the book, but I love that. Do you feel like it's great timing that he dropped that book now? Because everything you always hear about him is Jada Pinkett Smith now.
Well, I think that's why he needed it. Was like
a
PR.
Yeah, it was kind of not just a PR, but I think it's a good left field. Like, okay, why is he still with Jada? Because I'm sure he must talk a little bit about that.
They talk about.
I'm not saying that's all like it's so focused on that.
No, it isn't. They barely even they don't even really touch upon the things that happen. What do we call it? What's the word that?
Oh my god! No. We're gonna get back to this. I know you guys are all thinking about it, but. Yeah.
What's the word?
Oh my god! I'm all thinking it's promiscuous, but it's not that.
No.
It's
It was a situationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, situationship.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna find this.
Situationship.
It's not. It's a. You can call it that.
Oh no, it's not a. We say situationship. It's a. Yeah.
Entanglement.
It's
the entanglement.
They never really go through that. He goes about his first wife and then how he's blended the family with his kids and how successful his kids are as well. Yeah. Going through that now, thinking about there was a lot of things that resonated, and then there's a lot of gems that he drops. It's Will Smith. You want to learn off. If there's anyone you want to learn off in life, is someone as successful as him.
Well, I feel like he's very layered. Like I wouldn't say like when I think of Will Smith, I'm not just thinking of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like don't get me wrong, we grew up on that. Yep. We grew up on that, but like there's layers of that. There's
Ali.
There's Ali. There's like the concussion. You know, it's like him.
That Roger told me to go watch that movie. I haven't watched that yet, but I'll go watch that. But Men in Black, Independence Day.
Or like even like Mistakes.
All the iconic people that he played. Ali and...
Well, he played Genie, and that's classic.
No, there's so many. He's actually...
The one thing I love about him, he can admit to his mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, because you know, like, and we'll bounce back to Matrix. He was
90s, 2000s. Yeah.
So Keanu Reeves wasn't supposed to be Neo. It was supposed to be Will Smith.
Yeah.
But Will Smith turned it down for Wild Wild West.
Well.
Yeah. And
he talks about that in the book as well.
Yeah. As a kid, I loved Wild Wild.
If he was...
I don't know. I can't picture him. Can you? Can you?
Yeah.
Because
Will Smith can do anything.
I just can't, because Keanu Reeves, the way he plays pretty much every role, he's so like just kind of like robotic a little bit, and I can't picture Will Smith being robotic because he's so interactive with everybody he meets.
But isn't he iRobot?
Yeah, but even iRobot, do you did you think he looked? Did you think he acted like just plain? Can Will Smith be plain? With any role he plays.
Like he's very high character.
Yeah, like the energy he brings, and I think the energy that he has, whether he's playing a dad, whether he's playing like Hitch, everything
high character.
Everything he plays, there's so much energy because I think that's just part of his personality.
Yeah, you can't. What's he gonna? I'm trying to think. There's got to be some movies where he's very placid. But yeah, Keanu Reeves is iconic for The Matrix.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of Matrix, what's the first thing you think of?
Keanu Reeves.
No, like what's the first thing when someone says Matrix? What do you think of?
Though.
That's the only thing that I think of when I was a kid. Everyone was talking about Matrix and we were kids and we were all just doing that move when we were at a party or something, like a family party. But I really wish I had not been this age, maybe like 19, 20, 21 when Matrix first came out. Because it was like you see comments and stuff that people say about The Matrix. It was a very eye-opening film, especially during that, 1999, the .com era, where internet was about to come out. Yeah. People were thinking about, like sometimes I think about, not just reality in itself or like life, that this is it, and we go day to day, but like the simulation theory, like when you have deja vu. And sometimes, what's your like theory on deja vu? Mine is, I feel like we're all watching. We've already lived this life, and we're all kind of somewhere. I don't know, heaven, or we're somewhere watching our tape. I don't want to be watching your tape. But do you know what I mean? Like we're all watching the tape, and then like suddenly it skips, or something happens where you're like, "Oh, I've been here before." Yeah. That's my theory on on deja vu. Yeah, and then they have deja vu in the first Matrix with the cat. Yeah, they bring that up, and then there was a lot of things about like biblical references in Matrix and stuff. And people would always say that it was very eye-opening, or it changed their life because of the way that people would see the simulation, or like being here, but then there's something more out there. Like I think we've had this conversation before, maybe not in depth, but like I think it was our last podcast we were talking about
or like the Metaverse. The Metaverse.
And when you were watching this one, did you get that?
I thought about that because we talk about Ready Player One, how much like what the Metaverse can be, but then it's like I feel like Matrix kind of brings it a little bit more deeper to that. Yeah. As in like, not just what it could be, but like maybe I don't know, like maybe you're playing yourself in a different role, but but it's trippy what. All right, so with Revolutions, how my ratings is and everything with regarding the movie, I'm looking at it like on paper, it's a 5 out of 5 movie. On paper, right? You know, Keanu Reeves is back. Trinity is back. Oh wait, there's a different Morpheus, but it's not the real Morpheus.
Weird.
No, that was weird. I don't like that.
That's so weird.
Like, yeah, like
especially someone
like shout out to the actor because I love him in Aquaman because he's Black Mantis, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to him. But yeah, not Morpheus. I get what they were trying to do with it. So that's what I mean. On paper, all these ideas on paper is beautiful. How they delivered it just didn't pull off.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like how everything what they wanted. I just don't feel like. I don't feel like once they got on the field, they just didn't stick to the play. Like
I get you. From the start, when it started, they showed like the police coming through, and then they had the sound effects, and it felt like a C-grade film right from the dot.
Yeah,
like the buildings didn't even look like they were in an actual city. It looked like the studio, even the pan out. And I was going, it's been 22 years, and the cinematics to it just didn't feel. You'd think that they would have evolved over the years, unless that's what they were going for. Like they were going for that same. But even the first one, it had that the cinematics was different. It was like a green feeling, so you knew you were in the Matrix.
I like how you put the green part. Yeah. That's
you know
true.
the filter was like green.
Yeah.
When you were watching it, but then this one was just normal. And then at the start, I thought because he was the software engineer or whatever he was.
Yeah.
He was creating the Metaverse, or he was creating the actual game that he was making. But I thought, oh yeah, he understands what's going on. But I forgot about the whole. It can't be reality because he doesn't have the thing on.
With this film, what was I gonna say? With this sorry, when you're talking about the first scene, if you look at all the scenes, it feels like every scene is kind of different. With the other Matrix, don't get me wrong, like it's two different worlds what they were doing in the Matrix. When you're in the Matrix and then you're in the real world. So, but even then, you could tell it's two different worlds, but it's still kind of with that green effect, you know? With this film, I feel like every different scene, whether they're at the start scene, whether they're on the train, whether they're outside, it felt like a different director is like doing or a different editor. It just didn't feel like it didn't flow well, and I didn't like that. I just thought, when you say C grade, it just didn't flow. It didn't flow. They weren't jumping.
Yeah,
you know,
graphics, the graphics just didn't look 2022.
Yeah,
it looked 2000s. Unless that's what they were going for, even the 90s. But technology has gone so far since then. So one thing I love and I hate. So I hate being inside the Matrix in Revolutions because it just didn't feel cool. You know, when you watch number 1, number 2, number 3, it's cool going into the Matrix. It's cool, the fight scene, the guns, everything. And this one though, I just felt it was boring. I felt like I get it. It's the start, and I guess they were trying to mix. And I didn't get what the whole purpose of the thing was. So the new guys, the Asian girl, comes Bugs, in and Bugs. She goes to find Neo. They take him out. All right, they found Neo. He was the chosen one. Who's the prophet? He's like the Jesus of the Matrix. And then they go through like, oh, you saved us back in the day. And then they see Jada Pinkett, and she's old now because he's actually gone through 60 years, but it only feels like 20 to him. Time in the Matrix. Time in the Matrix, there is no time, right? The time didn't move, especially with Neil Patrick Harris. When he does that scene where he comes in the mechanic and he sees Tiffany or he sees Trinity. And he stops time, and then like Neo's like... stuck through time.
How'd you like Neil Patrick Harris as a villain? I'm not saying it's bad. It was okay.
It confused me because what confused me was we've always watched Mr.
Barney?
No, Mr. Smith. The guy that says Mr. Smith.
Oh, Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, but what's his name? The agent.
Agent, oh my God, Smith.
Agent Smith, yeah.
Just say Smith.
Yeah. Why was he now having a fight with Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah, that part didn't make sense to me. That's about, I think...
What was going on? I thought they were the villains together.
I thought they were working together.
I actually thought the guy, the handsome guy at the start, I don't know what his name is, but he's supposed to like... I thought he changed and then he went into Neil Patrick Harris. And then I saw them together and I go, what is going on? That confused me. It really confused me.
I mean, like Matrix films are more number 2 and 3. They are a bit confusing.
Well, one is,
One is classic because one makes sense. Everything just flowed well.
Yeah.
We're not here to like obviously to rate 2 and 3, but you know they're not on par as the classic.
Yeah, but I get you because like one, you know, the red pill, the blue pill.
Yeah.
Like that's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
So red pill, do you want to know more? Or do you want to be more into reality? Or do you want to delve into the uncertainty of the life?
What would you do in that situation?
I knew you were going to ask me. Even Chelsea that you'd ask me this.
Like as in like you're like as in
and blue is like being safe.
Yeah. Let me finish with this part
go
too. All right. So blue pill, be safe. As in when I say blue pill is your life right now.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
then
like
every time you take that, you just
as in Chelsea, everything's in the blue pill.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's a red pill.
Yeah.
And someone's saying like it's a different life, but no one's gonna tell you what's there.
Yeah, no one tells you. And Chelsea knows what my answer would be, and it would 100% be the red pill.
Okay.
As much as I know what this is, because red pill is free will.
Yeah.
It is free will and understanding more. And that's what I'm even like in life right now. That's what I want to be doing right now. We can go into that more about, you know, when we were talking about socials or whatever. But blue pill is like, you know, sometimes we go through the 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
And we are accustomed to, well, not, that's us right now, but some other people don't. But some people, they go to work, put on the hard hat on, and every day is the same.
Yeah.
And they don't have that, I'm going to go to try and search for more. It's just like, this is my programming. And some people don't realize it because they're just so accustomed to that. And it's been like that for years.
Yeah.
But I'm a person that would want to understand more, even if it's more uncertain, even though the blue pill is what I've got right now.
Yeah, yeah. I could.
As much as I'm grateful for everything I've got right now,
yeah.
but there's always like I want to understand more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
would you do?
I would. So if it's in that scenario with the whole Neo part, I'd pick the red pill just because it's completely something different.
Different, yeah.
It's not, you know, and like when you say how you were explaining it, I could see you picking the red pill because of that reason, and how you explained it to him, like. Yeah, I can. That's 100% how I would like. I could see doing.
Because the blue pill is kind of like your destiny. It's like it's like a simulation of a game. When you go on The Sims or you go on Gran Turismo or you go on GTA and you just play single player mode, you just go simulation and it just runs through it, and you have no control of anything that happens within that. I sometimes think that is that what we're doing through in life? Remember we talked about this through the metaverse and that. Is that what we go through in life? Sometimes we were born here and our life was already planned ahead and we're just living it. Or do we have that red pill, free will, make choices in our life to change outcomes within life?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by like, I want to live my life in that red pill sort of way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense a lot. It makes sense a lot. Like,
like to escape our programming.
For me, it's more the different part because this is like a complete left turn where it's like, this is the unknown. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but this path, because I don't know. I believe that there's many paths in front of you. Yeah. But it's up to you to go which path, right? But that set format, I don't like the idea of like this is your set path. The blue pill is like no matter what you say, you're accepting it.
Yeah,
and
because you're accepting it, and in the Matrix, it's if you're going in technological ways of the 90s, 2000s and what's happening right now, it is you're programmed to this like, you're programmed to like an algorithm.
Yeah.
And the algorithm just plays its part like a game and you go with it and that's it. You're programmed. You can't get out of it. Yeah. That's the blue pill.
Yeah.
That's why it was so successful. People were always like, you would question, what do you want to do? Blue pill or red pill? That's why it's all a part of pop culture and memes. Yeah. Because everyone thinks of that regardless of the Matrix. People think of that. Like. Yeah.
Would you have the safe option? Or would you pick the other option?
The safety, a safety net, security, you know, stabilization. A lot of people just want that.
You know, if you want to go even deeper, it's like the blue pill is your bubble, and that red pill is like going out of your bubble. Some people,
sure.
and I get some people want to stay in their bubble, and then other people want to just burst out.
Yeah.
How'd you like Trinity as the one? Spoilers.
You just went straight into it.
Oh yeah, I did. I was a little bit too fast.
Yeah. That was cool. I guess it's I guess that's what's happening in all movies now.
They're putting the female.
Yeah.
Like you know what, like, and as much as
it was cool.
You know the reason why I feel this though. So I'm pretty sure you know this, but so the original one was the Wachowski brothers, right? And then they both became transsexual, and now they're women. And Lana Wachowski picked up the director's hat again, and she wanted to do a fourth one. And I don't know, it just felt like there's just so many films that they kind of want to do. Let's switch their hats. But I'm like, look, I've never seen, besides The Matrix, name another film Carrie Ann Moss has been in. The Trinity, name another film that she's been in. Yeah. I can't think of any films. I searched through her. By the way, I searched through her
IMDb.
IMDb or Wikipedia. I'm like, I've never seen any of these movies. I'm like, and not that matters, but I'm like, you came to the cinema because Keanu Reeves. If Keanu Reeves wasn't in this movie, we're not watching it. Yeah. I get that you're trying. This is the scenario where, like, you know what? We should just stick to that blue pill because the blue pill was fine with Keanu Reeves. Why do you have to disrupt this?
Yeah. I enjoyed, not just enjoyed it, but it was cool to see. It was cool that there was a part where she was about to leave the bar, and then she turned around, and then she was like, because her husband in the metaverse, he was like, Tiffany, let's go, and she's like, I fucking hate that name. My name's not Tiffany. Yeah. Yeah, and then she went back to Neo, and then they started fighting, I think. They all started fighting the guys. Yeah. And then they were getting taken apart by the cops. And then they really tried to, like, bring each other together. Yeah. And then when they touched, it was like, poof, like a force. Yeah. And once I saw that, all I was thinking of was that Neo song.
Oh, which one?
We're a force, man. We're together.
Oh my god.
Baby, you make me better.
You're a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, I am.
Alright, so
he's like he makes the he's a gaming maker, right? Like he's making a game right now. And then he thought he was just living his life, but then that scene where the guys were trying to say that he was in his own game, that freaked me out. I was like, could you imagine?
Oh yeah. But I don't believe in one part though. So, not that we're trying to go back to the blue and red pill, but I don't believe with Trinity she would leave her kids. That's a different scenario. Because it's like, you're not there for that one scene. Like in her eyes, I just gave birth to my...
she was there for like 20 plus
years. I'm like, I don't believe that part with Trinity. Neo, I can understand why he'd want to escape it. He's literally lonely. He has nobody. He wants to break out of that system that he's in. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Trinity, I don't believe that. Because to be honest, we talked about the red and blue pill.
And she would have been happy. Women would be happy with their family and stuff.
That's not even women. Yeah. If I had, I think the kid was like, what, 14? If I had a son, and for 14 years I thought he was my son, I love him because obviously it's a loving family, but like more the son, like it's not a random person they're dating. Yeah. It's literally you've witnessed birthing. Yeah. So in her mind, so I don't know if that blue and red pill can even be in that with Trinity.
Yeah. What I got out, there was a guy, I don't know, I forget, but they're not in the metaverse anymore, they're back in reality. And he was saying that people like to be in their own little cocoon, just like, you know how they're in that sack? Yeah. And then they're like plugged in and then... Yeah. And he was saying like, people like to be in the cocoon. That's why some people would prefer taking the blue pill, because they like being in the cocoon. They don't like the as much as they say that they want their expression, expression of free will and being able to say things. People like being in that cocoon and being certain of things that are going to happen. like having certainty.
I think
that's why
that makes sense,
a lot of people would, they'd be like, "Oh, I'll just take the blue pill," because there's certainty.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna use myself for example. When I was in hospitality, working graveyard shifts and nights, and by the way, I wasn't thinking. By the way, nothing's wrong with that, but I was scared of doing anything else, going to any other. I'm like, well, how would I be?
Do you remember? Yeah, before you, we're taking back to the casino, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even when I was there, I would think, oh well. Not really. I always had in my mind, once I'm finished uni, I'm gonna go do something different.
Yeah.
But then you know when some people are doing something all the time, that if they were out because they think they're so tied to a salary, or they're so tied to reliance upon this job, because they have no ownership, they have no control over it. It's their time is, I wouldn't say dead. The time is to that place now. It isn't their own free time. Yeah. They have no ownership of that time. So it's dead time. But then if they were to ever lose it, they would be like, man, what am I going to rely upon now? Yeah.
There's the thing that, oh my God, there's this old cocktail waitress that I used to work with, right? And she said something. I didn't like her for a very long time. That's the point. But anyway, but she said something that was so obvious, but it's so obvious, but like, oh wait, but what am I doing? So she said this, like, let me ask you a question. Do you work to live, or do you live to work?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that stopped you in your track?
No, it stopped me because I'm like, I'm working so many hours. I'm working all weekends.
And a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah. But then, like, when you're in that type of lifestyle where you're working weekends, I wasn't seeing my family that much. Yeah. My social life was pretty much in the hospitality life, and normally it is like that, which is fine. But when you're separating everyone else, I wasn't seeing my Latins, I wasn't seeing family. I wasn't seeing my friends who I grew up with teenagers. Yeah. I felt like
you're in a simulation.
Yeah. I felt that. Like I felt like I was like, that's the blue pill.
That's why they've created this movie, because they put it in a general public sense of how people will go day to day. Yeah. Because you won't be able well, now I'm able to see it in a different light because I'm out now, but then now as well, working from home is different to me going to the city every single day. And being out there, and then all that time, the train ride, the back, and then it's the same thing every day. I know it's the same thing every day now, but I'm at home, but I have more time to do work on this and do different things. Yeah. But and learn more. Yeah. But it is life can get like that, and it is scary if you. Some people are so numb by it. And if you were to bring it up to them, they would just feel like they would get offended by it, or they would think you were looking down at them. I'm not looking down at you at all. I'm just saying that for me, when I was going through it, it was like that. That's how I felt.
I think so when I got fired from the Star,
it was like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, but you called me, and you kind of just like, man, like there is other opportunities, and we kind of had that deep, a little that.
Yeah, and we weren't even close then.
And we weren't even that close then. Yeah. But it was like, when you were telling me, like, there is heaps of opportunities out there, and I'm there just like, I'm in the blue pill still. I'm just like, I know, I'll find, because in my head I'm like, I'm going back to bartending. I'm going back to, like, I want to.
Because that's all you know.
Yeah, because that's all I know. And you're like, like, all you said was kind of like, I know, but like, if whatever you want to do, I'm there for you, and there is other opportunities. You didn't even say like where you wasn't trying to like plan my like path or anything. You just gave that open hand out. That's all it was. Like, there is other opportunities. No, open. You just had fingers out like, there is other opportunities, but whatever you want. And I think, blessed to have that. Just say thank you for that. Even though there was a small conversation where we weren't even that close then. Thank you for that. Sorry, out of that though.
There was other stuff within the Matrix that was like quite very biblical when they were speaking on the Purge. You know when they were talking about the Purge? You remember?
Well, they have Purge mode, but I didn't. Yeah.
What's his name? Bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, he was saying he came back in the real world. Then he was like, when he saw everything that was going on, and he was like, it felt like everything I did none of it mattered. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like it felt like everything that I did, I think they died, but there's now that they showed that they survived it.
Well, I mean, like, no, so like, no, yes and no. So he did think that at the start,
Yeah.
but then once he met Jada Pinkett Smith's character,
She
so
revealed everything.
she reminded like, so the war has stopped.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
war, there's been no war,
Yeah.
but it's still going on because a lot of people didn't want to come out of that blue
Yeah,
pill,
yeah,
out of the Matrix. That's another thing. Like, I liked being in the real world more than the Matrix, because in the real world, it literally showed like changes, like, oh, we've actually bettered ourselves from because at the first city was just all humans built, but the second one's like it's machines and humans working together, and that's what I loved. Like, it was so different. It was like, oh, this is so interesting. You go back into the Matrix, it was boring. That's how I felt. That's what I felt anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he was like, you know, it felt like there was everything. It was all for nothing. She was like, no, there was what you did, the sacrifice you made. It was for something, because, like what you were saying about the reality now, they were all kind of working together.
Yeah.
They're alive now, and a lot of them were able to survive that war.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's going to be crazy in the next, 50, 100 years. You never know what's going to happen with this metaverse, that people are going to create their world where they're...
You know what? I still... You know what?
It'll be like the Matrix.
I mean, you know what?
like
Like,
the
you're not wrong, because, like, I know we talked a bit about it, like, Ready Player One, but, like, you said, like, well, how many years you said? Like, how many years did you just say? 50 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
It's about to start.
Well, yeah,
See
okay.
what
Okay.
happens.
Well, like me right now, I'm in a small little department, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm in the metaverse, I'm in a mansion, and I can,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I
you
can see
can-
everything,
you can
and I'm like,
create whatever you want.
I could see people
You
doing
can
that.
create whatever
Yeah.
you want.
I could see people
You can
doing
be
that.
your own Hugh Hefner.
Yeah. I just, yeah, that'd be me.
Yeah. You can create whatever you want it's gonna be weird. And then I was just thinking, some people are gonna be like, oh, I hate this world, you know, and who knows what's gonna happen in the real world, climate change, blah blah blah. Will it be dystopic like that, like dark and dystopic like the real world in Matrix? And then people are just gonna be like running away from it. I'm gonna just create this whole beautiful thing that I like, but then it's not real.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not real.
I get that. So out of 5,
Oh yeah.
you want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 1.5 out of 5. The reason why, as I said, on paper, it's a 5 out of 5 film. Amazing. Like, on paper, it's a beautiful film. The delivery just didn't hit me. 1.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
What's your one?
Well, it was good for the nostalgia.
Yep.
So that's one.
Especially with the era of like reboots.
Keanu Reeves, give it a 2.
Yeah.
Give it a half for what's her name?
Trinity.
To bring her back.
Yeah.
But because there's no more Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, the cinematics was kind of C grade. So I'll probably give it a 2.5.
Yeah. Fair.
Which is yeah.
Enough of that. Question I have to ask this. So that's our review. My question with you now, because we haven't really touched on it that much. You're out of social media now.
Yeah.
There's a couple questions.
Like, people, if they search the pages, they'll still be there. Facebook, Instagram, and that. I didn't deactivate it. I just deleted my apps.
Yeah.
So on my phone, I don't got it.
Okay.
Reason being, I just want to focus in more on being not just present, but this. To be honest with you, and whoever's gonna watch this, I just don't feel like I'm where I need to be, and I'm sure a lot of people understand the same things that I'm about to say. Is like, sometimes I catch myself just 10 minutes has gone by, 15 minutes has gone by, 20 minutes gone by, but time is so scarce these days.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know all the things that you want to know, or understand things that you don't.
So for this recording, it's been like, what, 30 days for you? Or
Yeah, well,
more?
I'm not saying it's a New Year's resolution. After Christmas, I took it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to be more using that time that I'd just be scrolling, doing absolute nothing, and do it for doing things I want to do. Also, there was I spoke to my auntie Val about this. As much as I love everyone, and you know how I am, people that actually do know me. Sometimes, and it's not a FOMO thing, not at all. But you know, going through and seeing how people are seeing the things, I'm happy for that. And I'll be able to, when I get to see them, I'll be able to actually spend the time with them. But then seeing people's stories and whatnot, and just seeing what they're up to, blah blah blah, or hey cuz, how you doing? Like just seeing their stuff, family overseas or friends overseas. To me, it's like me not just looking out for their things or their stuff, but like I need to look out for me now. Like I want to be looking out and doing things for me this year and focused for me. So I think it's more a me thing.
Do you feel like you're more funneled into what you want now because you don't have those distractions?
Yeah, I just
curious with like just
I just got more time to, you know, I've been reading. Last year I read 3 books. I've read 4 books this month already, and that's January alone.
Yeah.
And thick fat books. Regardless of if I've been able to go through it properly, like write notes and that, but I've read them and I've taken notes as well. A lot has resonated to me, and it's not just that. It's also like you might want to do it. Like I downloaded that Duolingo app, and I'm trying to learn Spanish.
Okay.
So every day I'll be doing that. What else? Oh, my fitness, like my health is definitely number 1 this year. I really want to get in shape. And instead of me going on my phone and like going on Instagram, I put my Fitness Pal app on the actual part where Instagram used to be, and I'll just click on that. And then I'll just make sure I count my food. Shout out Justin who got me on my macros and that. And I think just my fitness, like getting in shape. Like my knees aren't good. Like I'm not where I want to be. And yeah, I feel like I don't think I'm not saying I felt like I was looking out for everyone. Like I'm a
you felt
brother.
You felt that was a distraction?
It's just a distraction.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. It's just distraction on focus.
Okay, that's good. I have a question just to like see where your mind is with both sides. Yeah. What does social media mean to you? Like with people.
Speaking of like the Matrix and that, it's a whole new world. It's a world. It's a world of people. It's a way to connect. It's definitely a way to connect. There's pros and cons, obviously.
Yeah.
But how good is it that family or friends from overseas that you won't get to see every day?
Yeah.
That you'll be able to see them straight off.
But yeah.
You know, or see the things that they're up to on the daily. That's a pro.
Did that motivate
Connection.
you? I mean, like anything on Instagram. There's got to be some things that motivated you at the time.
For what?
Anything. Could be fitness. Because so many people put their talents in,
the things that I really want to see, I can search that up myself, or be able to source that out myself without having to just go off the people that I follow, if that's what you mean.
But you know what I reckon as well, when you say that, you're right, because when you're searching, like especially when you go to Reels, like you see this motivational, let's just say, we'll just use a rock for example.
Well, I like those.
Yeah, but then you go through that rabbit hole, and then you keep on going page to page to page. Yeah. Like, I guess that would be a con and a pro, right?
I like those. Those are cool, just to get you think. But it's not about that. It's more about just wasting my time. Yeah, I need to focus. It's a distraction for me right now.
I kind of like one thing, I think because I feel like it pushes me to post more stuff. And I like that I like that because...
That's good. That's creativity.
Yeah, but and it kind of pushes me to want... It's not really for the likes. It's more just like the people I have that I do care about. Because there's a lot of random people on my Insta that's just like, I met you once or whatever. Yeah. You know, and like vice versa. I'm still following them, they're following me, but like... I'm posting stuff because like I think it's cool. I like it.
Yeah. And that's why you should be posting stuff.
Yeah.
For your own personal brand. That's why you should be posting stuff. Me, that's what the dilemma I've got right now. It's like, how am I gonna... This is our first podcast of the year. And then for Start Somewhere as well, when I start getting into I'm glad that we've done this because we need to get in a role. What am I gonna do about that when it comes to socials to let people know that... I'm good. That a new release has come out or a new show or a new episode that's come out. But I just think what I'm going to do is have you post it up on Curious Canvas, you post it up, tag me, and I'll just have it on my iPad. I load it on my iPad because I'm reading ebooks off it now as well. So that's a good thing. But I'll just have it on my old ass iPad, like iPad 2 from 2013, close to 9 years now. And I'll just reshare it from there. Or whenever I need to post something, like a new episode, I'll just post it through Instagram as well.
Because I was curious.
And that might be a bit of a fuck around, but at least it's not on my phone on the daily doing it.
That makes sense. Yeah. I was actually going to say, look, what's going to happen?
I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's best because it's not directly on my phone that I'm holding all the time or running around.
Yeah. That's going to be my question, like, as in, my next question, like, what's going to happen but start somewhere when it comes to posting
I'll just post it and probably not even look at anything that's come through.
That's fair. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll just post it and... Yeah. The connection, the messages that I'll receive, I'll probably have someone to look through my stuff as well, like go through it, like an assistant or something. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, to have it on my thing on the daily, I don't know. I'm in a good space.
That's good.
Yeah. Back in the Matrix.
And that's the Curious Canvas. To be honest, I kind of forgot what episode we're on, but like 2022, so 22 edition. Like the Curious Canvas, 22 edition.
Like, subscribe. I've got my Cyber One Systems, our sponsors, our t-shirt up and running. If you need to get in contact with them, I'll leave all the details below. And my man, get a ball rolling. I know we said that in 2021, then another lockdown happened and all this bullshit happened, but let's go. Whenever I have a big year, don't listen to me on what I'm doing or pick it. I hope this is entertainment or you get something good out of it.
Focus on yourself and be, don't stick to that blue pill, be your red pill. No matter what it is, be your red pill.
Yes, always grab that
red pill.
Red pill.
Thanks, guys.
I don't think you quite realize what you've got here. So why don't you just ruminate whilst